Alright, our last several stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our very last stitch, we do 2 double crochets, 5. It should all add up mathematically to be that way as well. Perfect. Slip stitch to the top. And that was our last expansion. So now we are just going to continue around and around and around for a certain number of rows that I will put on the screen and tell you in a moment. But let's go ahead and just get started with row 7, I believe. We're going to chain 2, double crochet into that very first stitch there, and just keep doing 1 double crochet in each stitch around the whole way around. Now, without doing any increases, you should have a total of 72 stitches in your hat, and as long as you continue going into that very first stitch at the bottom of your chain 2 and the last stitch that's connected to it there, that should always still stay at 72 stitches. So you are not doing any more increases, and you will notice that the beanie starts to curl under into the shape of a beanie hat. And you want to do a total, we'll do it as long as you like, but in the green beanie that I made and what I'm doing here, I'm going to do a total of 18 rows of double crochets. And yes, that does count that first magic loop. So if you don't count it, it will be 17 rows. Something else that's fun to do on the beanie I made for my husband, I did a total of 15 rows, 16 if you count the magic loop in the center, of one color. And then for the last couple rows, I changed it to the green color. So that's fun if you want to do different colored brim, which can look really good as well. Alright, so I will meet you at the end of all these double crochet rows. Okay, so I'm coming up to my last double crochets on my last row. I have done a total of 18 rows, including the magic loop, or 17 not including it. Last one in this stitch right here. And slip stitch to the top. So now we are on our last and final row, and I like to give just a nice little finishing look along the bottom here. So what we're going to do is just chain 1 and do single crochets in each stitch all around, including this one right here at the base of the single crochet, as well as this last stitch here. So if you have not done a single crochet before, I will add a card to show you how to do that. And just go all the way around doing single crochets, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, we're coming up to the last several stitches of our single crochet border. And sometimes it can be a little hard to see where it ends, so depending on how well you can see it, you might want to put a marker there at the beginning, but I can tell because of the little line and that little bump right there. So do our last single crochet and slip stitch to the top. Yay! Perfect! So now we just need to tie in this end. I like to kind of run it through the base of the stitches here and then go around the other side and run it back along the other side. So let's go down to the base. And then it's hard to see with this yarn, but you can see almost two little pieces of yarn where it's wrapping around the stitch. And I just like to run it through those. Do it for 4 or 5 stitches. So it helps to tug to make sure it pulls through, and then you can kind of stretch it out. And now we're going to go over to the other side. And run it back through. That should be good. Stretch it out and cut the end off. You might want to tug it just a tiny bit. Cut the end. And then pull it through so it's hidden in the cap there. And it's perfect. You can't see it at all. Alright, do it again.
Do it again.